Hi guys, welcome back to Island Girl Recipes. Today we're going to be making another favourite of mine from my many trips to Trinidad. Yes, we're going to be making bake and shark. So here we go. So for the bakes, they're really simple. We have some flour, water, baking powder, salt, sugar, yeast and some oil. So to start with, we're going to add to the bowl the flour, the salt and the baking powder. In a separate bowl, we're going to do the yeast and the sugar together with the hand hot water, because this will allow the yeast to activate and feed off of the sugar. Once this is dissolved and started to ferment, we're going to add it to the flour mixture. So once the sugar and yeast are all dissolved in the water, we're going to gradually add it to the flour mix and just bring it together to get a nice soft and light dough. You do need to give it a bit of a knead for about 10 minutes. And once it's nice and smooth, it's good, and we're going to leave it to rest. For those who don't know, bacon shark is basically a fried fish sandwich, but instead of bread, it's a fried bake. And the shark is actual shark, but I've subbed it for some pollock. And then it's just filled with loads of salad and different chutneys and sauces and everything you can imagine. So whilst the dough is resting for the bakes, we're going to get our fish ready. So whilst it's called bacon shark, which they do use in Trinidad, we're going to use a different fish. So I've got some sustainable pollock here, which I have just rinsed off and cut into pieces. So to season it, all we have here is some green seasoning and some salt, which I'm going to add to the bowl now. I will add the link for my green seasoning recipe above, so you can use that. So once this is all evenly coated with the salt and the green seasoning, I'm just going to set it aside and leave it just to marinate until we're ready to fry it. So to get this ready to fry now, I just have some flour here, and we're literally going to add the flour to the fish. The green seasoning will allow it to stick, and then we're going to just fry it in some regular vegetable oil. Oil's nice and hot. You want to make sure these go really nice and golden brown. So a few minutes on each side. If you keep turning it regularly, then it can get an even cook all the way through. But don't forget, you don't want to overcook the fish to where it dries out as well, so just be mindful of that. So that's it, all the fish is done. So I'm just going to set that aside whilst we finish the bakes and get all the other components ready. So our bake dough has risen here. We can see it's almost doubled in volume. So this is nice and light and airy. So what we want to do now is divide it. We can get 4 out of this. So you can cut them or wait, it's up to you. And when we separate them now, we need to give them another half an hour just to prove again. So once I've cut them, I'm just going to boil them into nice neat pieces, put them on a tray with a little bit of oil, and then leave them so that they can prove once more, and then they'll be ready to fry. So these have proved now, as you can see, they've puffed up a little more. So now they're ready to be fried. So firstly, we need to press out each of the doughs. So I have some vegetable oil here, and I put a little bit on the side, a little bit on my hands, and I'm just pressing them out so they're nice and flat. The thinner you press them out, the more puffy and airy they are in the inside. The thicker they are, the more doughy they are. There's no right or wrong, it just depends on your preference. So oil's nice and hot, just some regular vegetable oil. It has to be really hot because otherwise the bakes won't react with the oil the way they need to. As soon as you get them in, about 30 seconds, and then give it a turn. And we want to keep turning these regularly so they can get an even fry on each side, and that also helps to create the air pocket on the inside. So I'm just going to make my way through these and then we'll check back in when they're done. So these are all done now. Just an important one, the best time to cut these open is as soon as they have been cooked. Now I know they're really hot, that's why I'm using mine, that's why I'm cutting mine using a tissue. But I find that when they start to cool, they're less pliable and less easy to cut. So the sooner you can cut them, once they're fried, the better. So I'm going to pre-cut these now and then we can get ready to fill them. So now we have everything to assemble the bakes. We've got our salad and some other little things here. We've got our fried fish and we've got our fried bakes. I've also got some coriander chutney and some tamarind chutney to add some lovely sauces, because in Trinidad, when you get this at Maracas Beach, there are so many condiments you can add, so I just made a couple of them here. And simply to put this together, you just load it up with whatever you want. So starting off with the lettuce, then I've got my cucumber, onions, tomatoes, a little bit of coriander. Then we're going to put some of the fish pieces in and finish it with the chutney. And there we have it. Look at that. That is bacon shark, my favorite, one of my favorite foods from Trinidad, which I try and cook as much as I can. So there we go. I hope you like this recipe and I would love to see if you guys try this at home. Please share your pictures with me because this one is absolutely epic. So as always guys, thank you so much for joining me again. This is a special one because it's a favourite of mine. It reminds me of my amazing trips in Trinidad. As always, if you like this recipe, please like it, share it, comment below, let me know how you get on, and if you do try it, please share your pictures with me. Tag me at Caribe_UK on Instagram and hashtag CaribeUK or Island Girl Recipes. Until the next time, peace and love.